welcome to a new PlugInGuru video. My name is John Skippy Limcool, and I'm very happy you're with me. This is going to be taking a look at Northern Lights to make a demo song, but it's going to be much more than that. We're going to do tips and tricks. I want to show you about the orb, which is used in the Northern Lights library. I also want to show you BreakTweaker, and we're going to take a look at OMG drums for BreakTweaker. That will be our rhythm section for this demo. I have no idea what we're going to do. I have nothing is scripted. Before we get to that, I want to, first of all, please go to my website, PlugInGuru.com, and there's a whole bunch of libraries for a whole bunch of different plugins. Keeps growing. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you. I get through the promotion so fast anymore. It used to be I spent so much time in the earlier videos. I want to show you something kind of cool. So I'm going to try to combine 3 videos into one. Also I want to make an announcement that this is probably the last video you will see in this room. This has been a house I've been renting since April, and the people that own this house need to move into this house. So I have rented a new place, and let me see here. This is just like we're at dinner, you know. Let me show you a photo. I want to show you a photo. This is my workspace that I have to work with. I don't know if you can see that very well. I have no visual feedback, but that's my room in the future. So I'm really excited. All sorts of cool things potentially can happen here. I might even have like synthesizer programming meetings at my place in the future because it's big enough. This has been a fairly small place that I've rented. I wanted to show you, first of all, these guys, because I talked about these in a couple of videos as teasers. This is the Jbl Pulse 2, and I paid for these. They're $199 each. I'm not an endorsee. I don't get stuff for free, but these are so cool. You have to see and know about these so that if you have the budget and you want some kind of a cool Bluetooth player for your setup, they work as lava lights. As you can see, they're glowing. They can be stereo. You can turn them on, and there's a little pairing button right here that you click on both, and then it pairs up for stereo, so that way you can play and see if we go like this. This is a demo from SoundCloud of one of my libraries, of Airwave, actually. And you hear that tick, 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 tick. It's maybe it's one of the drawbacks or the bummers. It's stereo, but each time you play a new song, it has to time align its stereo imaging. So it takes about 5 seconds at the beginning of each song that it pairs up. And you'll hear this where one's working and one's like, I don't know if you can hear that, but this one here is catching up to it. Still cool. Once it's in stereo, it sounds awesome. It has a button on the back to change the color, so they can each be spectrum set to different color presets. But what's really cool with this, that I think is really awesome, is this. It has a color meter on it. See this little thing right here? That's a camera. And right here's a button to push. So you can hold it up to anything. Let's hold it up to the orange first. I have a Tangelo, I believe. Hold it up to here, push the button. Boom. They're now matched to that color. Blue. Let's light it up to this blue. So I go like this. Oh, I didn't do it right. Got to close off the light, so it's just this. Come on. There. Blue. How about red? The red from this can. So line it up with that. Push the button. Oh, no, it didn't get it. There. Red. So it can meter out the color of all sorts of things. It's awesome. Fun to set the colors to whatever you want. Have a little set, go to a paint store, get some paint swatches, and it will line itself up to those colors. And it sounds great. So the Jbl Pulse 2, it's the lava lamp of 2016, in my opinion. It is so cool. Love it. And when you turn it off, it's got a guitar chunk up. I've had a couple of people ask me about this, so I will show you this. This is the environment that I set up for Logic Pro. I need to see cables so I can make this smaller. The way Logic works, it's been this way since like the early days. There's a physical input, which would consider your whatever keyboard controllers, whatever sources, hardware's, slider, interfaces, things like that. And then the sequencer input is what goes into Logic. This is what goes plugging into the sequencer for recording. And you can put anything in between it. And it has all sorts of sliders, faders, readers. It's got this little activity input viewer. So, oh, it's really loud. Oh, now I got to go back to my environment. Wait, there's an environment already open, isn't there? So I have it set up so anything that comes through here goes into this keyboard so I can see, and you can see visually what's going on. Then it goes from there into the activity monitor. Then it goes, this modulation source goes into it, and this is it's listening. So that means as I move my slider on my physical keyboard, that moves. It's cool it's able to do that. So that way I can be playing, and this is built into Logic. It's not a standalone application. So to replicate that in another application, I'm not sure how you would do that, but that's how it works. I had some people ask me about that, and they wanted to see specifics of it. So I hope that answers some questions. So what we have here is a blank. I've used Logic for so long, and I'm so comfortable with it that this is where I'm going to work. And so I'm going to do a whole bunch of, I have some ideas in my head of what I'm going to do, and it will get kind of carried away. This is stuff you can do with other sequencers. I don't know the specifics of how you would do it with some of them. So watch and apply. And you could do searches on YouTube has the ability for you to search, and there's answers and examples of everything. So I have just an initialized Omnisphere and BreakTweaker. And we're going to start with BreakTweaker, actually, because we need the groove. And I want it to be like 140 beats per minute. I'm actually going to go to the OMG library down to trap. And I think I wanted to use Stay Lit, which sounds like that. Now I don't need, for now, the bass or the pluck. And I like that snare, but I want something else. So I'm going to go over here to the OMG snares. And actually, that's a little bit too big. That sounds good. Okay, so I set this to 140, but if you see right here, it says 135. So I need to hit sync, and that will tell it, no, you need to listen to and be in sync with your sequencer. So now we can hit sequence, and we can contact. So now we can hit record, and okay, so we have a nice little bit going on there. Let's quantize it to 1/8 notes to make sure that it's nice and tightly timed, and loop. Sounds good. Okay. So Northern Lights is a pad, swooshy, belly type library. I'm going to use it in some different ways. I'm going to push it. I'm going to change it because I want you to see how you can change sounds. What it is isn't necessarily what it has to be. All right. Start with bass. First thing I want to do, turn off Harmonia, which removes the sub. Hear that sub go away? And I'm going to hit link so that it will change the envelope shape to both. It'll change the filter too. There. Let's go to the effects and see what's going on. I think it's just got a little bit up of. Let's bring that all the way down so it's totally dry. Until I bring the mod wheel up. Although, you know what, for this example, I want this reverb to be able to come in and immediately go away. So I'm going to say, copy this effect, turn it off, and I'm going to put it right here. So we say paste this effect. And I'm going to bring it so its mix is at 0, but the modulation wheel takes it at 58%. You know what? I don't think I want a delay. So let's turn the delay off. So that way I have a sound that... Okay. What do we want? I'm going to do kind of a electro complextro, something kind of up-tempo, cool, big chords. I got a big idea of what I want to try. I'm also going to record a lot of parts as audio and then slide them in to do some kind of cool syncopated things. So first thing we need to do is a chord progression. So let's come up with a cool, I have an idea for a cool progression. We'll try it. Okay. So that's kind of a modern, kind of future bassy kind of thing. Need some big chords hitting that, right? Now, at this point, this is where it gets to where I've had a lot of people ask recently, I want to have Omnisphere do more than one part, because right now it's only doing the bass part. And if you recall, there's 7 other boxes up here, all the way up to number 8, and they're empty right now. How would you set this up? Well, in Logic, what you do, go over here to MIDI channel, and you say 1 for this first part, because it's on part 1, and that's corresponding if you go to the multi-page with MIDI channel 1. But these are all set to the other MIDI channels. Inside of Logic, you've got the ability to go up to track, other, and right here, new track with next MIDI channel, and it's control and return by default. So all I have to do is hold down control and hit return. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now when I play here, you'll see the light up on Omnisphere for each of these additional parts. Now, if I want these to also be to separate outputs, you'd go over here to Omnisphere and just say multi-output version, and it's set. Now you hit X for your mixer, and right here on Omnisphere, you'll see a little plus. And each time you hit that, it will grow and have an additional pair of outputs added. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now we have 8 outputs set up, ready to go. So if you want to process things independently, which we will do later, that's how you do it. Keep it in stereo for now. So we go to part 2, and we're going to go to a sound that normally is, I think we wanted to use, I want to use, where is Denali. And the reason I want to use this is if you go over here and you turn off the filters, that's the start of a really cool, big, snappy synth sound. We got to go over here, turn off the reverb and delay. And there's delays on each of these guys. Okay. Let's solo each of these parts. Okay, this first part is bigger, thicker. I want it to have a snappy attack. And I'm going to trick it by using a mod envelope. So I'm going to go down here, and I'm actually going to use mod envelope number 4. Why would you use mod envelope number 4? Because it has a P right here, and the other 3 do not. And what this does is this makes this envelope polyphonic, which means right now it's mono. They're all playing the same thing, right? They're all forced to the same. If you turn poly on, now they're independent. Each voice has its own step envelope doing its thing. So let's see, let's go halftime so you can hear this a little more clearly. So halftime. When I play the next note, it's, well, here. Let's make it mono like the other three envelopes. Now they all, no matter what I play, I add new notes, but they're all following the same pitch thing, right? Turn polyphonic on. They're all separate. They're all doing their own thing. So in this case, I'm going to go over here to the simple envelopes, to the preset, just one spike, turn off loop, turn off sync. Make it a fat shape. Okay. Hit link, go to the amp. Let's take a look at the amp shape. Let's make it shorter and snappier. And gotta have this release come short, otherwise it's all will be for nothing. It's not short enough yet, so let's auto zoom it. Let's hit lock so that when I move this, it moves the release time too. Okay, we're getting there. It needs to be bigger and meatier, right? How do we do that? But I would still want to keep it short and kind of snappy. Let's use a compressor. Compressors are great at bringing up the body, squashing things, making things that were the softer part more equal to the part that's loud, which is the beginning. As I bring this up, that's really heavy. So, here's without. And that presence bring up. So we can go. Okay. Sounds kind of cool, huh? Played a few notes wrong there, so let's hit P. See, solo right there, so we hear it. Oh. Option solo to lock it. Just the B flat. See how that sounds. Well, that's interesting, right? I gotta undo this here. You know, the bass part in BreakTweaker isn't quite right. That first pattern. Right here. Yeah, it's better. Now, sometimes when you're writing, you have to redo things. So I want to redo my bass line because now that I have as I played, yeah, that's what I played. I played F and G instead of A flat and B flat. So okay, that's a bit better. Now, at this point, just to simplify things, I'm going to go to part 3. Let's see. Actually, before I do that, let's do this. Go to BreakTweaker and also click here and tell it to be multi-output so that we can open up the kick and send that to 1 so that it will show up on the mixer right here. And then I need to send that kick to an auxiliary bus because it's going to be powering a compressor here in a minute. So say bus 1. And we want to say pre-fader. So now it shows up here for volume. And it's also being fed into this bus so that I can take and have that be feeding into a compressor. So let's go here and say the glue from semantics. So I want to use a compressor. Again, for this kind of stuff is the one from Cytomic, the glue. And we want to go over here to the side chain and say bus 1. And just to make things easy, let's go to the presets and load up external side chain, make room. So at this point, if I turn down the kick drum, but it's still feeding. Okay. Now I'm actually going to move this. You can hear it's compressing the whole thing, right? Let's play it again. See. Like if I had the kick drum, if I had this hitting on quarter notes, hear that? Now I'm going to have it do that to just to the bass by itself. So we go down here to Omnisphere and we take this bass part and we say, instead of channel A, let's have it go to channel B. And that's the second pair of outputs. So it shows up here. So move the glue over here. And you'll get the dance. I call it the dance because you have the low end being equally shared now, where that huge sub and that kick don't hit with the same impact at the same time, which is really important because you don't want it to be sucking the life out of your mix. Your mix all of a sudden is going to just die. So let's see. Now we might want to have, additionally on BreakTweaker, let's have the snare sent to its own output so we could put some ambience on it. So go to the snare part and say output 2. And I always like to go over here to the snare at least and bring up the release. At least for in this case. So it's now right here. Let's go up here to the effects and let's say we want to use, let's use a Valhalla. These are nice reverbs. Let's just use Shimmer for something different. There we go. Size smaller. Cool. I'm going to pan the drums. Here's the pan. Let's get this into it. Okay, so this has pitch. I want to get rid of it quickly and easily. So I'm going to use a filter to high pass. There. No resonance. There. Let's see how that sounds. Just for something interesting. Okay, so we've shown you some cool things already. We've shown you how to get outputs and separate MIDI channels and separate audio for both BreakTweaker and for Omnisphere. So that's kind of cool. Separate outs, we've got a sidechain compressor happening on the bass part and the kick part. Let's go to part 3. And I'm going to do something kind of fun for part 3 with a Northern Light sound, maybe a bell sound. Okay, you might say, how in the world are you going to use bells like that? But we're going to trick them out. So they're too pretty at the moment. So let's get rid of all the prettiness. At least as far as like the long reverb. Okay, I have the idea. I want to show you, I was going to do a tutorial on the orb. I think I'm going to have to do that as a separate video. So this is just a demo song because that's kind of a whole different thing. The orb and how to use it, and I don't want to get that in the middle of what I'm doing. It's different. So for this, we're going to watch this. We're going to play the part in. Okay. Quantize. Now, this is kind of the fun part. So the concept is this. I'm going to record this with 3 or 4 different bell sounds and then combine them to make the part. So we're going to Option S to solo just this part. And I need to go to the voiceover track, and I need to go to track and say other. Oh, you know what? It's going to build them for me. So one of the nice things with Logic now is to go over here and say bounce in place and say bell 1. New track. We want to leave. All right, so I'm going to put it to a new track, and we're going to leave. All right, including instrument multi-outputs. Yeah, but we're not doing outputs, so it's okay. So, boom. All right, so now we go to the bell part, and let's find a different sound and play it. Oh, wait, so we need to. For the moment, let's mute this so we don't hear. So we just want to hear this guy. Get rid of the reverb. Let's see. Wow. Oh, that's right. It's got the burning piano. So the burning piano is used to do a kind of interesting thing. In this case, let's turn on a high-pass filter. I'm changing the EQ and settings on the reverb. Okay. So let's bounce that. Bounce in place, bell 2. Okay, made it to a new track. So if we were to solo between this, okay, let's do one more bell sound, but maybe not bell. Let's see, what are we gonna do? I don't know. That's kind of cool. Make it more belly with a little more of release. And then we're going to trick it for this one. I want to have this be doing a tricky thing with the LFO to a pulse shape. Synced and... Okay. Just follow along. Watch what happens. Add EQ. More high end. Cranky. There we go. So if we... Cool. So let's bounce that out. Bounce in place. Let's call this pulse pad. All right. So now, as you can see, we've got a number of different tracks. I'm going to get rid of, well, I'll keep the original. Let's see. It should be played by something else. Totally different. So let's find... I should save these, but I'm not. I'm just going to keep moving. Yeah. See how it's eating up CPU like crazy for this sound? Perfect. Bounce it. And then you don't have to worry about it anymore. So go bounce in place. Okay, so we can delete that part. And look at that CPU meter go down. Go down, baby. Go down. Oh. Let's have this go all the way to here and bounce in place one more time. Select a track and we'll say pulse pad. Oh, this is a CPU pad. It's the heavy pad. Okay. So by extending the size of that region, it made it so it didn't cut it off, which I didn't want it to cut off. So now if I unmute everybody. Okay, now we can start shaping the song a little bit. Half of building songs in the modern era is getting a whole bunch of ideas down, which I'm actually going to get a couple more down, and then stretch it out and muting and so forth. So let's go to 4. We can go back to 3 now because 3 is empty, right? These are all just audio tracks. There's all these cool plug sounds. Let's use that, and let's get rid of the effects. Okay, so we're gonna. Oh, so Jason was using the drive-by with a long release. So let's move the sample start later. And I'm going to use a cool trick that you might not know about. So we're going to go to MIDI effects to arpeggiator. It's doing it to everything. So if you're playing down notes, it immediately makes it available to drag right here to make MIDI file data. So you can, let's go over here and loop that. And, turn it off. That's all I want, right there. So we go, move this to right, and let's turn off loop by hitting the L button and go here to the second one. So I go here and say no transpose, up an octave, and up 2 octaves. Yeah. Okay, so you get the idea of where we've started. I'm going to stop here because I just want you to, the main idea was to show you how to get things split apart, get the outputs, get working on a demo idea, changing the patches to do different things. I've accomplished my goals. I'm going to keep working on this. I like this idea for a demo song. And don't forget, Pulse 2, if you need to have a new lava lamp in your life. It's pretty cool. Sounds very good. It's got decent bass response because of the speakers on the top and bottom. It's splash proof, so you can use it in your shower. No, I wouldn't take it in the shower, but in the bathroom while you're showering or something like that if you want. I like it. I like it a lot. And I'll keep working on this demo song and turn it into something cool, I hope. So thank you again for watching and for your support. And we'll talk to you soon.